Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley. We're here at the City of Santa Clarita Spotlight Show with Chris Fall in the studio, Hart District Board Member, Parks and Recs Commissioner, Community Volunteer, Small Business Owner for LED Lighting. And he was just telling us about concerts in the park. Tell me, who's bringing it this year? Does the sponsor change every year, or how does that work?
It does change, but we have some similar. We're proud to announce that the presenting sponsor is First Entertainment Credit Union. We have other sponsors that include SOS Entertainment. They're very active in our community. So is A1 Rentals. We have Reach Professionals In-Home Tutoring. Of course, our local hometown newspaper, The Signal. Varengo Solar and Snow Orthodontics.
And they're kind of helping to put together some of the financing that's required to get these acts here.
Absolutely.
And talking about that, just off the air, you were suggesting there's some do's and don'ts to having a good time at concerts in the park. The city would like us to do certain things.
Yeah, there's some things that just to keep it a happy, family-oriented an event. You can show up early anytime you want, but they try to discourage reserving areas, with caution tape, stakes, rope, and that's really out of consideration for all our residents who are trying to get to the concert.
Give everybody a fair shot. It's a free show.
Sure.
What time does the party generally get started? I mean, you've been here for a while, and you've been to your fair share of concerts in the park. When do people start to show up, and when do the music come on?
Well, I'm going to tell you when I try to show up, and that's like when the sun starts setting, because usually that time of year it's pretty warm.
Right.
The shows typically start at 7:30.
Okay.
There's some people want to be out there at 4 o'clock, and it's roasting.
Make a day of it.
It's roasting at that time.
Right.
So, and of course they're going to discourage pop-up tents and that kind of stuff. You can have them before the show starts, but you'll have to take them down so everybody can
see what's going on.
Right. And again, it's a free event, so that's the best part about it.
That's cool. And the crowds, I mean, I've heard everything, talking to city officials, from 3,000 to 5,000 people show up for some of these shows?
Yeah, I think that's pretty conservative.
Wow.
When Journeys, the tribute band, Don't Stop Believin', they have a big following that pay to go see them perform. So,
wow.
And they've actually performed at a couple of the big nonprofit events in town. I think Child and Family had them over at Taste of the Town. So they have a big following, and I've heard numbers close to 10,000.
Wow.
So pretty impressive. I want to remind folks that there will be food vendors at each concert selling food. So the city wants to make sure that folks don't bring barbecues. It's a non-alcohol, non-smoking event, and it's probably a good idea for parents to accompany their children. Rather than just dropping them off.
In any scenario, really, but especially
for the most part, when you have
park.
large people congregating, that's probably a good idea. And we hope we're providing ample parking, and you can actually this year for the first time buy a one-time parking pass for $20. That's good for all the concerts. But that is a first-come, first-served basis.
And I'm a large guy myself, so one of the things I'm primarily concerned about is food. Now, you mentioned you can barbecue beforehand and bring it on there. Do we have the list of vendors yet? Do we know who's going to be there providing food?
The best thing about any questions that you may have, all that information is available at santa-clarita.com.
Right.
Looking up concerts in the park. And, of course, 259-CITY, which is 259-2489. You can call the city and get any of that information.
And that could change from show to show, so they don't want to...
I believe it does change from show to show, and kind of the taste, so to speak, of music and the genre would go with the food.
Well, that certainly makes sense. And then, what else should people know, just kind of from your experience as a concert goer yourself?
Hydrate, drink a lot of water. It gets warm out there.
Maybe some sunscreen.
Sunscreen is a great idea. And it's just a great way to spend family time. I hear a lot about from the younger generation, the kids who are maybe in college, that there's not a lot to do. This is a great family community. It's a great place to raise a family. And what traditionally happens is when they go through that college period and they get married, this is where they want to come back and raise their family.
And it's a kind of a generational event now at this point. I mean, it's 24 years. You're going to see some different all ages.
It really is. There's different generations that have attended this same event. Like you said, it's the 24th year. So kids are attending with their parents, who parents attended when they were kids with their parents.
And it and it says here that people can submit their information if they want to be considered. So my jam band can be in the future?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. They do go through an interview process, and if you're hitting the right chord, so to speak, I don't mean musically, but hitting the right genre of music that people can relate to, you get in the mix.
And so the idea is kind of you were telling me you work with the city as kind of an advisory capacity. You just kind of give them suggestions for policies and that type of thing.
The Parks Commission people, we do not set policy. We guide and give our advice to council. Council has the full authority of making decisions. So, and it's fun to kind of craft and put together projects for the council to review. We do not make the decisions financially if something's going to happen or not.
And that's probably one of the more enjoyable things about your position. You also get to work on not just recreation, but there's also parks, which is obviously a huge thing for residents of this area. I mean, park space is one of the things they tout because we have so much of it. Rivendell, the recent project there. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Rivendell Open Space Project right out in front of Towsley Canyon. We went through a master plan process. We hired a consultant and reached out to the community and got some feedback. And we tried to formulate as best we can a master plan that will go to the council, and in a good time when finances are better, they'll take a look at some of the build-out that we talked about over there.
And so that's kind of in the organizing, planning stages, just finalizing those documents right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The master plan itself, yeah.
Right on. And with the summertime now underway, we'll be talking about the aquatics programs that are always popular in the city when we come back from a commercial break. This is the City of Santa Clarita Spotlight Show on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.